My name is Oluwaberi Margaret John, and it's an awesome, amazing opportunity to have you here again. I have with me an amazing person, and his name is
Okobu James.
Yes. So I am very sure that you've watched the last video, and if you've not, you're joking. You're joking because you should. At this time around, we're going to be talking about another very interesting topic that says national development and personal leadership. This topic has to be one of the topics that I feel it is so important because there is no how you can talk about national development that you will mention education, you will mention leadership. And so we're going to converse, and I would like you to, drop your comments and follow us as we converse. Okay, so Mr. James, what is your idea on national development as a topic on its own, and then on personal leadership as a topic on its own?
Good. I must confess that the last time we spoke, it was an amazing one. I'm happy to be here. Anytime I have to come and then I know I'll be meeting you, there's different vibes attached to it. So I'm happy to be here again. Viewers, thank you for having us and for staying tuned. Quickly, the topic we'll be discussing today is such an interesting one: national development and personal leadership, right? Personal leadership, of course, we know that we cannot talk about personal leadership and then keep outside the skills and action that influence others and drive change. So we're talking about personal leadership, we're referring to those skills and actions that drive change. Okay. And then when we refer to national development, we are talking about the economic growth, social progress, infrastructure improvement, healthcare, and education, just like we mentioned before. So these are the two basic things we'll be talking about today, right? So yeah, when we refer to national development, we are seeing that. By the way, I like to apply this to what is happening around because I don't know if you have another country. For me, I don't have any other country. I'm a Nigerian.
Oh, we need to talk
And
about how they changed our national anthem. We'll
you
get to that
see,
one.
so that is just what we'll be talking about today,
Mhm.
and it will be an interesting one. So yeah.
Yes, it would actually. Because if you're going to talk about anything that requires people to give themselves, to give their skills, their abilities, first they have to understand personal leadership, personal development. And then there is no how you want a nation to be built or you want a nation to be developed that you would not fall back on the people that would, build that nation. Every nation has even the human resources, and it should not, overlook that facet of its development.
Yes. So if we bring the two together, we are seeing how personal leadership can influence or have effects on national development. It worries me a lot because I understand now that it appears that most of our leaders are just leaders and they were not ready for it because they did not intentionally plan to become leaders. They did not drive themselves all the way into leadership. They only assumed
that
or
position.
fell into that position by luck or by chance or by hook or crook.
Connection.
So because yes, connections, that's the word. So because they found themselves into something they were never really ready for, they can just misbehave anyhow. So anybody can just wake up any day and change the national anthem, and it becomes very fast to change the national anthem and a very big problem to increase workers' wage. You understand?
True.
It becomes very easy to give so much money to the National Assembly, whatever they call themselves. Okay? And then very difficult to consider the man or the woman who takes and take the pains to go and work. Do you understand that even if a person goes to the chambers and sleep and the person has not passed the bill or emotion or whatever, at the end of the day, the person carts home so much money in cartons or in bags. But that one person who works and wears worn out clothes or worn out shoes, person is not supposed to be celebrated. Meanwhile, we still buy from the same markets. So when these people come around, outside of here, elsewhere in the world, the people who use this siren to celebrate are sick persons or people under emergency or people from the mob, that is dead carcass or dead bodies. But in Nigeria, our leaders use it and they intimidate us, and each time they're passing, we clear the road for them.
Yeah.
It then brings or drives home back the point that these people were not really ready personally for these positions. And so the national development becomes retarded, it will not grow, it will not advance, it will not go on. Because if you are not ready for a thing, that's a problem.
Yes, that's very true. I think
That's a
that
problem.
this topic we may have to discuss it in two folds. First, the leaders who are already there, if they were prepared for that position, and then the young ones who we want to raise up to be leaders. Because a nation that neglects its people is going to suffer, and that's just the truth. If you neglect the voices of your people, if you neglect the training of your people, if you neglect their development, overall the nation is going to suffer. Leadership is first with you, first about you leading, than about the position or the title.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people are like, I just want to get to that place, I just want to sit on that place. Ah, if I'm a president for a day, oh my god, this will
I'll
happen.
never become poor again.
I will never walk on background, red carpet all the way. Anywhere I'm going, you must roll the red carpet. And you can just tell that this person's personal transformation, personal development is lacking in one way or the other. Because if you really understand the concept of leadership, it is service, it is
Yes.
responsibility, it is even sacrifice.
Yes.
A true leader would sacrifice for his or her followers. So now I'm hearing that, okay, there's hardship allowance, there is newspaper allowance, there is something allowance. Where is the sacrifice on your own part for your people to show that you've really assumed, the posture of a personal leader? You've understood what it means to be a leader. It's quite a very juicy and dicey topic, because a nation that neglects its people, that neglects the training of its people, would actually quite,
All
suffer.
right. I think that idea is such a wonderful one. So we just talk about the leaders that are in now, and then subsequently we talk about people who are preparing, or we try
Yeah.
to prepare minds towards leadership. Now, if that is the case, we see that in terms of whether political leadership, economic leadership, social leadership, educational leadership, and what have you, the people currently occupying these positions only hear stories of the likes of Nelson Mandela, and they just clap and make us feel as if they are hearing. We feel that they are not hearing anymore because we don't see it, we don't feel it. There's no accountability.
Yes.
There's no sincerity. I saw something yesterday that baffles me a lot. That last year it was 3.6 billion naira that was paid. Is it billion or trillion naira that was paid for fuel subsidy removal? And then this year it is 4.5 billion. That means, in a way, we suspect that this subsidy we are suffering, it has not really been removed, or we're not really paying for subsidy. So if that be the case, what are we doing here? Who is deceiving who? What are we seeing? Is Nigeria another country? There was a country. Are we in our country? Do we know that other countries actually laugh at us? They look at us and say, Nigerians are not serious-minded people. Are we aware that we are losing the very best because people keep going out? Doctors are going, everybody's leaving.
Exactly.
Are we
The people who
aware
should
that
build the nation are the ones actually living?
so people who are living and living, let's not say the chap, because you and I are still here.
Yes, and the ones that are here that should, and our viewers that should actually now step forward. One way or the other is like there's no opportunity.
There's no opportunity. And when they get the opportunity, they become worst too.
Because one thing about, let me even say this, one thing about positions and power is that they reveal your true self. If you were a stingy person before you got into office, when you get there, you still be a stingy person. So the office, the power, this people are like, no, it's because they have too much money. That's why they're not like this. My dear, they were like that before they had the money, and the money, the position just gave them that expression. So
we keep saying it's easy to train a child than to repair an adult. When a person becomes an adult, it becomes difficult to change that person. So whatever the person was and grew up like that, even scripture says train up a child in the way he will go. If that child grows from being somebody who doesn't take things serious, doesn't look at the masses and know what hungry is, have never felt hungry before, maybe once, doesn't know what it feels like to say people are suffering in terms of education. Some people sit under stones, under mango trees to receive classes. They don't have a four-wall classroom, so to say, a conventional classroom. They don't have board, they don't have good teachers. Besides the fact that there are not enough teachers, they may just be a science teacher in secondary school that teaches all the science of them. Other than God, I don't know. So if they don't understand those minor things, they feel that when the person comes to say, "I'm not eating, I'm hungry," and it is a function of the government to actually provide this, if they now ask what is hunger, they don't know it. They don't know. Or the cost of transport is so high that we cannot afford it. What does it mean to say cost of transport? They don't know it. They've never been through this. They did not allow themselves to go through the process to understand that when we say we are hungry, this is what it means. All through their life, for maybe reasons we don't know, they've cut corners and they've just been in comfortable areas. And then they keep replacing their children. The leaders there now will get fed up. They'll replace their children or their connections or relatives. The next one will come, and as soon as they are there, they will continue to shift like that. And the other persons are suffering. Meanwhile, we are here. Somebody said the last national anthem was about father's land. This one is about mother's land. We need children's land.
Youth land.
Or youth land.
Honestly, because I was talking to a friend of mine and she was like, "Don't worry, you're serving your nation. Whether it's the fatherland, it's the motherland, that don't worry, it's just the nation we are serving." This is actually very, very, very interesting. And like you said, I think preparation is key for any leadership, position or for any position at all. You must be a prepared person if you would be able to effectively execute. For instance, and I'm not even talking about preparation on the financial, maybe that's inclusive, but mental preparation, mental transformation, personal transformation, because it is really what you know to do that you will do. And if there is a problem, it's why sometimes I tell people if there is a problem with this thing, just shows that the person doesn't know what to do, or the person knows what to do and has chosen not to do it. Because even if we're talking about national development, is it that our leaders don't know that we need electricity, that we need a good healthcare system, that we need good roads? They know.
They
But
know
they've
because we go
chosen-
outside the country and
They've
expect to enjoy
chosen
this
not
thing.
to
So they
do
know.
it. So that is even a flaw in the leadership system. If you can choose not to meet the needs of your followers, choose not to help them, become a better person. The thing is, if you don't even help these people, the nation itself cannot. But that's what I'm saying. A nation that neglects people cannot move forward. Many nations we see now invest into education, innovation, AI, and all those things, putting their people into that system.
Human capital development.
So that eventually there is that reward in the nation. The nation is made up of people. Just imagine a nation made up of leaders. It's going to be a better place. It's
Better
actually
place,
going to be a better place. So I
Yeah.
think that we should actually focus on investing into our people and the leaders themselves. If they can go to a leadership training curriculum, it wouldn't be bad actually, so that you learn how to lead. Leadership is not just shoving authority, shoving demands into people's face. You do this. Okay, today we are going to change this. Today we are going to change that. It is more about serving your people, taking responsibility and sacrificing for them. But as a leader, you are siphoning and
Taking any money that comes to your conference. Somewhere we saw that a speaker of the House of Assembly could take over 400 million. So if everybody takes like that, see, there's actually money in this country.
there is. Oh my
is
God, I
money
saw
in
that
this
report.
country.
I was like, eh?
There's money in this country. When we deceive ourselves and say there's no money, we are deceiving ourselves. That is the truth. There is money in this country. People who know the means are really cutting away with so much. Are we aware that before now, we had the issue of the change of the Naira notes, and then some Naira notes were being shredded. They took them, packed them to some places in bags, wanted destroying them. Today we are using more than one Naira note style or whatever it is called. The other one was redesigned as if we needed it. I don't understand. I don't understand. These people we call leaders, it appears they don't have vision and strategic thinking, just like you mentioned. It is supposed to be that God created us and gave us brains so that He will rest. If we make use of these brains, some of the problems we face today, we will not be seeing them. So we don't have people who deliberately sit down to figure out and bring solutions.
Exactly.
That is my problem. So why will it be that there's a problem to solve, and then at some point we really implore people to come help us think, and then at the end of the day we don't see solutions or results? So you see, people call themselves leaders, yet they do not have vision. They don't have strategic thinking. They don't think about anything. All they think about is how to invest money. These same people lack integrity and accountability.
Honestly.
How can a person be a leader and not have at least in the minutest form of integrity or accountability? So nobody should ask you for any result. Nobody should ask you for anything because you are the leader. You know, we are deliberately not calling names here. We have names to call. These people are not doing well. They are just occupying offices and doing the worst thing ever. It appears as if nobody's really going to ask. As soon as you occupy a political office or a position, take as much as you can because you don't know how you take survive tomorrow. And because you've
Yeah,
been in
that
that position, there is
mentality.
no way you have to come down or become poor because people
Mm,
expect you to even do more. Even I think that even in some churches or in most churches, a person is a political leader and you are expecting more than the normal tithe.
just because you know the person's ability.
You expect already that as it stands now, you should get some form of reward because your member occupies a particular position. So these people lack accountability, they lack integrity, they lack innovation and problem solving skills too.
And all of this really should be a curriculum, a leadership training curriculum, really. If these people can actually take out time to go through these processes, I don't even think you should be a leader without core values such as integrity, such as compassion, such as
How,
excellence.
how are we going to match that? How are we going to calculate that?
Ah,
They will come and give you reports now. Is it recommendation or letter of consent or attestation or
only
whatever
you
you
know.
call it? They will bring it and you will see it. So because we cannot examine to know whether these things are true, we fall into problem. Fall
That's,
into problem.
that's actually very,
So it's a
very, very
serious one. Let me
serious.
even mention under this that if you must be a leader, one of the effects people expect from you is communication and influence. You know, when we had our former president, one of the problems we had with him was he feels reluctant to communicate to the masses. There will be a die-hearted situation and people already dying. This man is just there, not talking to us. He comes, and when it's time for him to address the nation as we call ourselves, I don't know if we're a country or a nation, he will just be reading scripts for us without influence and impact. I know whatever is befalling Donald Trump now may be politically motivated, but hey, that man was it. You see Donald Trump with his scripts everywhere, holding it himself. As soon as we say we want to hear the president, you see him come to speak to his people. Was it the time of Barack Obama? We saw leaders, we see leaders of the world. You see Barack coming with his folded sleeves, you
So
know,
much emotion
speaking
and
to them.
empathy.
You feel the impact. That is my leader talking. But as it were in his case, he'll come and sit down and read scripts. Come and sit down and read script until it was his turn to go out of office. So you see, it's a problem.
It is
Serious
actually a
problem.
problem. So just because of time, we'd like to end here. I would like to encourage you to not just listen to this, take out, lessons from this. Challenge yourself to be a better leader, a better person, because the truth is, whatever organization, whatever institution, whatever nation reflects the capacity of the person leading it. So even if you're a leader in your school, a leader in an institution, a leader in government or any organization, whatever your organization reflects is really your own self reflecting in that organization. So challenge yourself to be a better leader, take up leadership courses, ask questions, motivate yourself, and we look forward to your success. Thank you for joining us. I remain Oluwabori Margaret John.
Thank you very much. My name is Okowu James. Know that at whatever level you are, you're a leader there. Do not wait to be a president
Yes.
before you start acting.
You are first your own leader.
Thank you.